everybody. Hi, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. So this episode of my vlog is going to, I just wanted to talk about my frame for my long arm. A lot of you have asked about my frame, the status of it, what's going on with it, did we get it working and all this. So for those of you that are new to my channel, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thumbs up. I appreciate it. The backstory is, back in 2016, Sewing Machines Plus had a sale on the King Quilter Special Edition and long arm. It's an 18-inch long arm, and on the website they had it with the Phoenix frame, the Grace Phoenix frame, which is a real heavy-duty frame. And I did not know one single thing about long arming. I didn't have a clue. I knew they were expensive, and I could get the long arm, the frame, and I have the Quilt Butler with the 10-inch tablet on here. I could get all of that because I can't free arm. I can't pantograph. I just don't. I'm not artsy fartsy like most quilters. I'm a fish out of water when it comes to doing that stuff, which is why they make robots for people like me. And that's great. I'm fine with it. So total investment was, oh, I don't know, $10,000, okay? Which was fine. I wasn't gonna, you know, my goal was not to spend 30 grand on a machine, which you can do very easily. There's a lot of you out there going like this right now, okay? So I didn't want to spend that much. And, you know, I think when you don't know anything about it, you just dive in, you listen to salespeople. We've all done it, you know, you listen to salespeople and you believe them and whatever. So anyway, with the Phoenix frame, it didn't come with these overhead lights. And I had LASIK surgery back in 2002, and I don't see well when the light is not very bright. And so I wanted these overhead lights. Well, the overhead lights came free with the GQ frame, the Grace GQ frame. And I couldn't get the free lights with the Phoenix frame, okay? So how stupid is it that you're dropping 10 grand, but you don't want to spend an additional $500 on some lights, right? So I opted for the Grace GQ frame instead. Looking back, had the salesperson told me that GQ frame isn't really sturdy enough to hold the weight of this machine, because this is a pretty heavy machine, because this is all solid steel. It's a steel casing. It's a Tin Lizzie. If you peel back the layers, it's a Tin Lizzie. But Sewing Machines Plus put their pretty stickers on it, gave it a name, called it King Quilter Special Edition, and put some fancy handles on it with buttons and all this, and then I opted to go ahead and get the Butler. I probably would have then said, oh, okay, I'll get the Phoenix frame and throw in the lights, and then I would have long since forgotten about the fact that the lights cost me a little bit extra. But that didn't happen. Now, I'm not going to blame them. I guess I could. But maybe, in fact, the salesperson didn't really know, okay? So I got the Grace GQ frame, I got the lights. The weight of this machine really messed with the frame just was not sturdy enough at all. So I started my YouTube channel in January of 2019, and early on in my channel I had lamented on there. I said, oh, I hate my frame. I still have that frame, but somebody, Tiny, up in Carville, Texas, had heard me say, oh, I hate my frame. Well, Tiny was downsizing, and she said, come up here and pick it up and you can have my frame for free. And I was like, you're kidding me. She said, it's brand new in a box, come get it. And I thought, well, okay, I could do that. So I drove up there and met her, and we visited and had a wonderful time and everything. Saw her again at a Quilt Guild show here in San Antonio. Brought her frame back. So it's a Bernina, the Grace Bernina frame. Well, I was visiting with my seatmate on the bus who works at a Bernina, the bus to the Houston Quilt Show, who works at a Bernina dealership here in New Braunfels, Texas, which is just north of San Antonio. And she told me that Bernina had gotten with Grace to make this frame for them for domestic mid-arms. So if you have like the Brother PQ 1500 like I do, the Baby Lock Jane, a Juki, something with a little bit longer throat of the machine to allow for a larger quilt to roll up, and you could use that. I went up there to Kerrville to go get this frame, and I brought it back and put it together. Y'all, if the Grace GQ couldn't handle that thing, I've only got this much space to quilt in. This much. It's short. You know, my arm's not even straight. It's short. And it's not designed for the Butler. The Butler is there's a black box down here. Let me see if can y'all see that? So, when I was going to the show, my husband said, see, my plan is to be able to quilt for others after I retire from the Air Force. And because I'm not active duty anymore, I did 20 years active duty, U.S. Air Force, and then I retired in 2003, and now I'm a federal civilian, and I still work for the Air Force. And so I'm going to retire soon, and I want to retire soon. I'll put it that way. We put our ranch up for sale, not where we live, but we have a cattle ranch, and we put it up for sale, and as soon as it sells, I'm gone. So is my husband. We're both gone. Can't wait. For you federals, my MRA plus 10 is in less than 10 days. So, anyway. So, that's minimum retirement age plus 10 years federal service is when I can begin. So, anyway, if I can do that. And then I just want to whole hog into quilting and doing what I love, right? So, I keep pointing at this quilt. I'll show you guys this in a minute. When I went to the quilt show last weekend, he told me, he said, I want you to get a frame for that machine. And I said, okay. So I went looking and looking and looking. And I ended up at the Sewing Machines Plus booth. And I spoke to those guys there. And I have a Phoenix frame on the way. What I should have got from the very beginning. Gosh, I got me some free lights. So that said, and it will be a 12-foot frame. And it is heavy duty. It's pretty heavy duty. I understand that the Grace company has created a newer frame that has a take-up rail that flops over that allows more space, and it has an auto lift for the take-up rail, which is very cool. The Phoenix doesn't do that, but it does have a crank that you can crank on one side, and it will lift the entire bar. Whereas like the Bernina frame and the Grace GQ, you have to go to this side and then you have to go to that side to raise the bar as the take-up rail gets thicker and thicker with the quilt part that's already quilted. So anyway, I can deal with a crank, that's fine. Y'all, that Phoenix frame is heavy. It's heavy duty. So the deal was, they didn't want to take it, it was at the show, and they didn't want to take it all the way back to California. So my husband and I were going to go out and meet them on I-10 as they drove past, you know, San Antonio, and go pick it up from them. So I got a call from the driver about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, and he told me that the box with the frame in it had been damaged, and they looked inside and one of the pieces of metal was bent, and so they're going to send me a brand new frame from California. So I got to tell y'all, I got a heck of a deal. Heck of a deal. I wanted to get the frame from my local quilt shop, but when I told her, she was like, oh no, I couldn't have done that. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Now my lights don't fit the 12-foot frame. And I asked the salesman about that, and he said a lot of their customers just hang them from the ceiling. So I told my husband, and he says, okay, we can do that. So that's kind of neat. I have power in the ceiling too, so that'll be, when we had this room built, we put power up in the ceiling on that corner and this corner. So anyway, I'm getting a new frame. As soon as that frame gets here, I need it here soon because I need to get back into quilting, you know. I've got to quilt those two table runners that I made, the Friendship table runner. And then I had told y'all in another video that I got this. This is a whole cloth quilt. Look at this, you guys. I'm going to make this for my granddaughter for Christmas. This thing is gorgeous. And it's got these owls on it. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Look at these big roses. Isn't that just fabulous? And the other side of it has panels for pillowcases. There's a smaller quilt right here, and then there's a pillow. And look at these. Look at these owls. Look at those. Isn't that just wonderful? Oh my goodness. I think Scrappy Quilter in Schertz, Texas. Schertz is S-C-H-E-R-T-Z. I think they have one of these left. And this is, it's called Magic Unicorn Panel by Sarah Watts. I'll put the information for this below, okay? Y'all, this is going to make this little girl's day, but it is designed to be a full bed quilt. So, and then I went to Scrappy with my little % off, and I bought this for the backing. And I really think, I mean, I wanted pink, and I really think, look at this. So this has pink and orange in, look, how about that, huh? I think it'll be fabulous. So, on the back, they were quilting this on the long arm at my quilt shop, and I saw it, and I just thought, oh, this is just absolutely incredible. Just incredible. Get the bottom of it here. The owls on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Well, stand still, Becky. There. Look at that. Isn't this just wonderful? Y'all, she's going to flip when she sees that. I have gone from no long arm to a long arm with 3 frames. Y'all, my life. Good Lord. I am going to give this Bernina frame away. Okay? It was given to me. I am going to give it away. It has a couple of extra holes in it that my husband drilled in to mount the kit. That we had to wait to get the kit from Quilt Easy to mount the box on here, and it doesn't fit. It just doesn't work. The encoders don't ride right on the rails. I'm going to give this away. If any of you want this, you email me at powertoolswiththread@outlook.com. I will put my email address down below in the description box, and if you want to come get it, you can have it. So if you've always wanted a long arm, and maybe you have a mid-arm frame, a mid-arm machine, like a domestic, y'all, you can get that Brother PQ1500 for like 500 bucks on Amazon. So for $500 you can have, and this is a 10-foot, and it's got shelves underneath for storage. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got the take-up rail, and it has the belly bar, and it has another rail down below to put for the backing to, you know, hook that all on. But, or the, I don't know what I'm talking about. So there's nothing wrong with it. The rails are good. Everything's fine. Yeah, I'm sure it would work just fine. It's just not big enough for my machine. And I contacted Tiny and asked her, did she want it back? And she says, no, find it a good home. So if you are interested in having this frame, you can have it. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the GQ frame yet. I might end up giving that one away as well. But right now, I'm going to give away the Bernina. So I just need to make room for the big 12-footer that's coming in. All right, you guys, that's it. Just want to tell you about the frame saga. If any of you are interested in it, please contact me. I will be happy to help you load it into your truck. We'll talk to you soon. Go sew something. Bye.